first time in this Dolphins era being under 500 and several games under 500. What's the mood been like, Al?
I think it's been obviously a tough start to the year. Like you said, 2-5. Nobody had that scheduled for this team and this crew. So being able to stop hesitating and ask ourselves what's going on and just continuing to try and fix problems, I think is the biggest thing on these Mondays is refocusing, recalibrating for what just happened, what does it mean, and how do we use it to move forward. I think that's really the state of the union on this Monday, and I think that really helps put a lot of things in perspective on a Tuesday and then showing up Wednesday with everything focused on how to win the very next week.
Alec, how do the team captains and the leadership council come into play in situations like this, not just today, but over the first 7 weeks of the season?
I think we have quite a few leaders in the regular meetings and the regular job description of captain and leaders. The leadership council, it's always different. And I think guys finding their voices in the margins of this locker room and the space and the complex, I think that's really where a lot of those one-on conversations are happening. That's where the communication is being, and that's where trust has to be built. It's one-on-one. It's the relationships. It's the guys talking to each other, staying the course, being able to fix the little things before they become the big things. So captains and leadership council definitely, we have our meetings and whatever you want to, describe it on the itinerary, but you never really sleep. You never really stop leading. I think that's the power in the amount of guys that we have in those leadership roles.
You're a pretty upbeat guy. Why are you optimistic that things are going to turn around?
You can feel it on the field. It's the weirdest feeling, and you sound kind of insane when you feel that way because of the results. But when we're moving, we're operating. There's times in games where we had 10 points. There's when we have 27, and you can just feel it's something's in the air, and I can't put my finger on it, but it's improvement. It's development. You watch our tape from week 2 to last week. There are guys that have made mistakes, have fixed it, have corrected and improved on it. And you can feel that. You get a sense of this organization, this team coming together through a 2-5 start that nobody thought was going to happen. And you sound crazy talking about when you're 2-5, but the only way is through. The only way is to continue on this process. The only way through is to continue to trust and build on what we believe have been lessons, not scars. And that's a Mike McDanielism, but it's something that is really true, and it hits the nail on the head for a lot of reasons.
How frustrating is it that these little mistakes keep popping up? Before it was with the holds and the offensive line, you guys, I think there was only one hold on Sunday, but then now there's a little bit of snap issue. So how frustrating is that, and what are you guys going to try to do, maybe with the leadership council, to try to correct some of these little things?
Yeah, I think it's death by 1,000 paper cuts right now, and it's man, we were able to overcome so many of those situations in past years, and that's not been the case this season. So to have that consistent voice, to continue to not get tired or feel sorry for yourself or waste any emotion on things that don't value or add value to winning a football game, there's no room for that. There's no room for close. There's no room for that might have been good enough. There's non-negotiables at this point, and that sense of urgency, that sense of attention to detail, I think that's all the way throughout this organization. Everybody has. It doesn't matter who wins or loses the game. It's that continual improvement, and that's what we need to find, and we need to win along the way while we're doing it.
What were you noticing in the offense in Tua's first game back, just in terms of the orchestration of everything?
Felt good, man. Felt good to have one back. Felt good to be able to roll the way we did. But again, I think we have the ball with 8 minutes left. That's we can't end that drive in a punt. And I think there's a lot of guys, a lot of spots in that place where we all could have stepped up a little bit better. So felt good to get in the end zone. Felt good to have those explosive plays. But good wasn't good enough.
That sense of urgency that you were talking about, how does that translate to improvement, maybe in the operation, especially in a tough road environment like you guys have coming up?
Yeah, I think when you talk about sense of urgency in the environment, the circumstances, all these external stuff, that sense of urgency is internal. It's within the huddle. That's within yourself. So being able to practice and replicate and develop that day by day with your actions, with your habits, your routines, it carries over. It leaks into the football field so that you're focused. You know the job at hand. You know what to do, how to do it, and you do it with all of the energy and emotion that you possibly have in that moment to succeed. So I think that's really the important thing. Building on this week to be able to lock in, laser focused for 4 quarters, whatever it takes, to find a way to win and finish a game.
What's impressed you about Jalen Wright? He doesn't get a ton of chances, but when he does, he's pretty impactful.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, to be a running back and not be in completely like the flow of the game and still have explosive runs when his number's called as a young guy, that's really cool. You know, he doesn't have to get his motor running, 4 or 5 carries, get tackled a few times to then be able to hit it. He shows up, he's explosive, and definitely for a young guy, it's cool to see him step into that role, and whenever he touches the ball, he does something with it. So very happy with him.
AJ, tell me about the mood of the locker room last night and today. Are you guys still pretty optimistic about things?
Yeah, definitely still optimistic with 10 games left in the season. But I think, that 24-hour rule where, we're not happy with the outcome of the game, for sure. But, that's definitely fuel for us going forward. We still have 10 games left to, put everything in our hands in terms of how we play football, control what we can control.
Obviously, when the goal isn't met, there's got to be a level of frustration. What's that level like for you and the rest of the team as well?
The level is, it's high right now. We're already kind of in a time where we want to win more games than we have. So we're definitely frustrated, and turning that frustration into something more, so what's the best word? Something more productive. Turning that frustration into more production. So just understanding that our margin of error is really slim for winning. And that will feed into how we practice, how we play, how we look at the game going forward. And like I said earlier, we still have 10 games left. So, that's exciting to have 10 games left still and get an opportunity to get back some mistakes in previous games that we've made.
Why do you think the margin for winning is slim? Is it because of injuries on the team? What makes it slim in particular at this point?
If you look at around the league in general, if the game's not a blowout, there's usually just a couple more plays or situations that you would want to get back. A blowout win is there's probably a lot to clean up. But, being in the NFL, most games are closer, and whatever team has the least amount of mistakes usually comes out with the win.
Why are you optimistic for the last 10 weeks of the season?
Because I believe in this team. I believe in the work ethic and, the talent that we have here. Talent means nothing without hard work. And through this situation where we haven't won the games that we wanted to, I've seen guys pick up their work ethic. I've seen guys not complain, not point the finger. Stuff like that just kind of tells me we got a bunch of people ready to win and do the right things to win.
Real quick, I'm sorry. And offensively, the last 3 weeks, certainly it hasn't been perfect, but you seem to be finding a little bit more of a rhythm than you had early in the season. Would you agree?
Definitely. I had a coach once that said, if you're not getting better in this league, you're getting worse. And that's kind of a daily thing in terms of you have to get better every single day. So I definitely want to get better every time I step on that field and whatever I do. So probably.
Kind of piggyback off that, obviously you guys threw the ball more yesterday than you ran the ball, but it felt more of a balanced offense. Did it feel that way over obviously the previous 3 or 4 weeks, and how did it feel to have more of a balanced attack?
It was good. Just wish we could have executed more towards our last drive, but we did have a good balanced attack.
Austin, how have you guys felt run blocking the last, 3 weeks? This is a passing team, and the offensive linemen are kind of known for their pass blocking skills. How do you guys like that physicality? Tell me about that.
Yeah, we're definitely an offense that, you said we're a passing team, and we are a passing team, but we're also a running team too. We have our own system of blocking, that we take very seriously, and we train that very hard with a lot of intent. And I think we want to be as balanced as possible, run and pass the ball effectively, because that's what a productive offense does.
On Achan's 47-yard run, you were basically escorting him down the field. You got down there pretty fast. How did the room react when you're watching that film?
Yeah, it was good. I could have been a little faster, but it was good.
I know there was probably some shell shock, guys feeling down after the game yesterday. Any player stand up and give any sort of speech that lifted the spirits or did anything yesterday after the game?
No, we spoke, said what was needed to be said, but not a lot needs to be said, to be honest. I think as a team we're ready to speak more with our actions on the football field and with our work ethic. Just not a lot to be said. It just hurt. Everyone in that locker room was hurting after that loss.
And well, how tough has the challenge been for the group of just having to chase really mobile quarterbacks the last 2 weeks, and again another one on Sunday with Josh Allen?
Oh yeah, it was. It's been tough, trying to bring mobile quarterbacks down, but we just got to keep corralling to the ball, running to the ball, and shooting our shots. So.
What were you seeing was different without having Zach Zero?
He was definitely missed. Just kind of like containing Kyler too. He would do a good job actually like pushing the pocket, so to make our jobs easier on the edge. But it was definitely tough not having him out there. So.
When you guys looked at the tape today, the second half, what was the one thing that really stood out to you?
I don't know, I would say a lot of busts. It's self-inflicted wounds that we just got to fix and correct. We can't have those mistakes coming this week.
Is it more mental than anything?
I won't say it's mental. I feel like guys just trying to do too much, trying to help their brothers out. And, I would say it's just trying to do too much, just do your job,
I guess from an optimistic standpoint, you haven't had a ton of that this year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is something that you can put behind you pretty quick?
Yeah, our mistakes we made are more self-inflicted, so we could correct that, we could fix that. So I'm just looking forward to this week. So.
What's the feeling right now at 2-5 and all? You were one of the guys that was here that 1-7 season that turned around to a point, but you never want to be digging yourself out of that deep.
It's not too late. We still got a lot of games left to be played. We got a division opponent coming up. We just got to go out there and handle business. So.
I know after the first Bills game, it seemed like a lot of players were saying it's like a mental hold. What are you guys going to try to do to correct that heading into Sunday's game? Just see what we messed up on the first time we play them. Be more prepared. We have our backs against the wall now, so we got to fight. We can't go in there scared. We just got to shoot our shot, like I said. So.
Deshaun Hand has been playing a lot of snaps and good ones, it seems. What have you seen from him in his play?
Han, he's been being last year. I like Deshaun. He plays hard. I know his time to step up, and he did that. We appreciate him for that. So.
Looked like there were a couple of times where you guys had a shot at Kyler, and it just he got just that much away from you guys. I guess how did you see it, and how did you change that this upcoming week against Josh Allen?
Kyler's a hard dude to tackle. It's real shifty, small, so you can't even really see him until you're right next to him. But we just gotta do a better job. Our angles were bad chasing them during the game, so we gotta do a better job fixing our angles. So, and we got another mobile quarterback coming in, so we gotta affect Josh too. So,
Emmanuel, the run defense. This was the first game that you guys held a team under 100 yards. Yeah. And then Buffalo coming up, they had 108 last time you guys played them. Yeah. But that James Cook run for 48 was pretty much all they had. Yeah. How do you look at the run defense this season, and what's the strategy on Sunday against James Cook?
Don't give up the explosive. We got to do a better job stopping the explosive runs. That's kind of like where Achilles heel, getting beat on the explosive plays. So just running to the ball and just doing your assignment and trust that the man next to you will do his. So.
Whenever the time comes that Bradley Chubb could come back, what kind of boost does he provide?
It's definitely a spark for us, having a guy like that come back, definitely needed. But he's doing good. The rehab is coming on strong. Can't wait to have him back too. So.
How you guys doing? Looking forward to your first trip back to Buffalo in a little while?
Excited about the opportunity to go back to Buffalo and play these guys. Another opportunity for us to go out there and play football, so for sure excited about it.
Jordan, why was Trey McBride able to? It looked like he was able to find a lot of soft spots in the zone yesterday. Why? Good scouting or coverage mistakes on you guys' part? What led to that?
Good player, yeah. We made some mistakes, but yeah, it's a good player. It's good offense. But when it comes down to it, we got to make some more plays. One more play than they did. But yeah, it's a good player, and yeah, we definitely left some plays out there for sure.
How shocked have you been by turn events as the season's gone through? Obviously, thought you were going to a winning team that has won the last couple of years, sort of fallen apart through 7 games. How dispiriting is that for you, Jordan?
It's football, right? It's frustrating for sure. I think everybody here is frustrated. But at the same time, we do have opportunities ahead of us, and it's in times like these. Where you really got to just put your nose down and work, man. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. So it's just, just trying to do 1% extra throughout the week and try to motivate the guys around you to do 1% extra and continue to stay the course and have that belief that things will turn. Because what a cool opportunity this week to go to Buffalo and extremely well coached football team, and we're excited, like I said, about the opportunity. So why not?
Sort of the ripple effect for you guys of losing a guy like Zach Sealer up front.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. I mean, he's been somebody who I've seen from across the field for a few years, and you don't ever want to have anybody go down, and you always have the idea that it is next man up. But losing a guy like Zach does hurt. But we're hoping to get him back when he's able to come back.
What gives you up the last 5 weeks of the season?
Well, opportunity. I mean, that's that's life, right? Like you get hit in the mouth, it's life. What are you gonna do next? It's one of two options. You're gonna fold or you're gonna just keep going and keep moving, and things. May not fall the way that you see them, but you keep moving and you keep grinding, and that's, that's a lesson in football and in life. I know a lot of y'all probably got hit in the mouth before in life. Like, hey, what do you do? Do you just fold and just kind of tuck away, or do you keep moving? People say XYZ about XYZ. What are you going to do about it? So that's my mindset, and I know that's the team's mindset. Let's just continue to work. Continue to grind. Yeah, we're not in the place where we want to be, but we got opportunities in front of us, and so why not?
Jordan, regarding Cater Kohu, I talked to Cam Smith in the locker room last night. He took the blame for something. I think it was the first touchdown. I'm not sure what it was, but I'm not taking anything from Cam, but Cater. Did that have an effect? That absence, did that have an effect? He's a quality player.
Yeah, Cater's a great player. And no doubt about it. And regardless of if he was in the game or not, the play that we called, he wouldn't have been involved in the touchdown. So that was strictly on the back end. I put that on myself, the communication. I got to make sure that the guys around me have an understanding of who we're covering since we're running a cover zero. And, I put that on me to be able to get the guys around me right. So, that had nothing to do with him being on the field or not.
What was it like getting reps next to Marcus May? Javon Holland comes out.
Yeah, I love playing with May, an experienced player who I've had a lot of respect for, playing against him, and just somebody who sees the game. We see the game similar, and he's fun to be on the field with.
And your run defense, this was the first opponent you held to fewer than 100 yards rushing. You get Buffalo. They had 108 last time, but the James Cook run, the 48-yard run, was pretty much, it. How do you view the run defense this season? What's going to be the key on Sunday against Buffalo and James Cook?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with, stopping the run. But obviously yesterday we did that, but he's still able to throw for 300 yards. So, but stopping the run is the first priority anytime you come into a game to make a team, force a team to have to throw the ball in predictable situations. And So that's I believe that's a huge emphasis going into each week, stopping the run, and then being able to get takeaways, which we haven't been doing. So put that on myself too. Yesterday should have had one, and so but like I said, it was just being able to stop the run, force teams to throw the ball, and try to make them play left-handed.
When you look at it, do you look at it as the defense collapsed late or Arizona just made plays late?
I think you can say a little bit of both. There's definitely some plays that we all want back from yesterday's game, especially late in the game. They did make some plays. I mean, they ran an oh crap play, first play of the second half. It was just basically the tight end wheel route coming around. I mean, great schemed up play. They made some plays, but we needed to make one more, and that's what it comes down to.